And I think we're good. Hello, everyone. My name is TrupsLP, and welcome to another political recap for this week. The date is February 11th, 2022. I'm joined, as always, with the lovely and moist Omegon. Say hello, Omegon.
I love that intro. Like the
Oh,
dates and
yes, thank
everything.
you.
That's clever. I like that.
Sorry,
Hello,
sorry, I was
Megon.
just. Yeah, hello. How is Omegon?
Glad the week's over. Or coming
Yeah,
to an end, you know.
me too.
I kind
Me
of need
too.
I need a day off tomorrow. I need it. Okay.
Oh, I see. I feel that.
Everyone has been ill except for me. I need I need space. I need to
Gross.
paint. They've all had a bug as well. So I wanna hang
No.
a shelf, I wanna paint some Warhammer, I wanna read a book, I just wanna chill, alright?
Yeah, I feel that.
Wednesday was a nightmare because I couldn't make videos because of a horrible headache. I don't like.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
saw
like.
you were feeling
I don't.
great.
That's my only experience with illness. Generally, it's my body's way
Mm.
of saying we're dealing with it, but because of that, you're going to get a headache. Don't mind us. Um,
Right.
how's Trups?
Oh, I'm also happy this week is over.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, it
give you.
was it was just, it was just a strange week, but more or less I'm excited because tomorrow I'm gonna go see the Pretend Lizards,
Oh yeah,
Imagine Dragons.
yeah. No, I realised that. I heard them
Yeah,
called that
yeah.
before by somebody, oddly enough,
I'm gonna go see them tomorrow.
along with Fake Rock Band.
I don't know which one that one is.
Well, Imagine Dragons get a lot of shit because they are considered the new form of nickel crack.
Oh, well, that's not very nice.
That's how they're perceived, but it's all right. Some of the music's
Yeah,
okay. Just lacks a bit of guitar. That's all. Have
yeah,
a
I feel
beer.
that sometimes.
I actually have an IPA that counts. It's a well, no, it's a DIPA. I think it means dry.
Mm,
Oh
a
shoot.
dipper.
Okay, well I dropped it on my keyboard.
Oh
I'm
no.
definitely not drinking this. That's seven. No, 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 it's not opened. It's
Oh,
7.5%.
good.
I'm not drinking that while I stream. Screw that.
I'm gonna get a coffee instead.
Yay! I'm going to bed soon, so I
Just
definitely
being a
can't do
supportive
that. Yeah.
parent. Ah, yes. Well, I like coffee. Coffee brings me back to a center for some reason.
You know, I know
I'm
some people are
weird.
like that. My brother-in-law now he's gotten over. He's I think he's just over 40 now. He used to pound Monster all the time. Now he's like, nah, nice hot coffee is what I need. Really?
Mm.
Yeah. All right. You sure? Do you need to be tested? You used to
Hmm.
have crates of like Monster. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, something's wrong. I
He and I used
sense
to.
it.
In fact, he and I used to buy Monster for each other until my heart decided, screw you.
Hmm.
Sad times, I know. F in the chat.
Indeed, indeed. Now we have several interesting topics
Mm.
today, and honestly,
Yeah.
I think the most impactful one isn't even the title,
No,
but
I just went with that because it made me chuckle. I spent like 10 minutes making the thumbnail. I was so happy.
mm,
I was like,
I actually I do appreciate it, and
I should have made
quickly
it
I just
smaller.
want to say to wondering Lisa in the chat, do you think Hunter is one of Joe's advisors? No, but Hunter is probably stoked about this.
Stoke, tote, whichever's easiest.
Now, allegedly, he's not on drugs anymore,
Allegedly.
but his dad basically just said, "Hey, you want to be?"
Did he actually say that? Actually, you
No,
know
not
what?
literally.
We'll get to that. How about we get to that later? Because
Sure.
there's so much stupid to that to unpack.
Yeah. No, literally, Biden did not say, "Hey, you want to be?" No, that's me joking based on his other things that he had said. But we have other things to talk about. Do you
Yes.
want to start about your dick?
My dick.
Yes, Cressida dick.
You know what? I actually do have sources for that. That wasn't where let me go and put them in the right place first. So during
Okay.
the week, Cressida Dick was trending twice, in fact, and she was trending for the first reason because of the Partygate scandal and what the Met Police did in that. But I'm going to give you a little. I'm going to give you a number of scandals she's been involved in. So
Hmm.
let's go through. Let's go all the way back. to racism allegations. Here we go. There's loads of
Okay.
these. Um,
Oh.
Multiple charges of racism have been leveled at the Met. Mothers
Mhm.
of, I can't pronounce this name, Bibaa Henry, Nicole Smallman, and Nicole Smallman said that she knew instantly why they didn't care when the officers saw her daughter as a black woman who lives on a council estate. There were questions raised about a missing person case of Richard Ocker. I'm not going to pronounce that last name. Come on. They essentially have a track record of poorly handling missing persons cases, and when it came to ethnic minorities in the UK, yeah, not a good look, because in London, there are boroughs, there are communities, and they weren't being looked after. That was one of the that was one. It's been going on for the ads. I don't need to see ads. Jean Charles de Menezes, whatever his name is. He was
Mhm.
now many people know him because in 2005 he was mistaken by an officer for a suicide bomber at Stockwell Tube Station in South London. Um, he had been spotted by officers who were looking for bombing suspects, and despite video of him not being sent back to command for verification, then Gold Commander Dame Cressida authorized the officers to continue pursuit and surveillance. So she was directly in charge of this happening. And obviously,
Hmm.
then what happened was, got shot. A subsequent trial found the Met Police guilty of endangering the public. But it did then, for some odd reason, exonerate then Commander Cressida Dick. Skip ahead a little. Where are we going? Oh, Charing Cross Police Station. Police officers serving at the Central Police London Police Station, where they were, let's say, involved in what was called misogynistic workplace banter. In WhatsApp group messages and Facebook Messenger chats, these same police officers joked about slapping mistresses about, calling them daft
Mhm.
cunts for getting murdered by their boyfriends. Same police officers who were not named would exchange racist, sexist, homophobic messages while bullying and harassing fellow colleagues. And in one chat, two officers talked about hitting their female partners before blaming women in general for getting murdered by men.
Oh, that's a good look.
It's a good look. That was the last one that hit him before she actually. Well, what happened? You got the case concerning Sarah Everard, who was murdered by serving Met Officer Wayne Cousins, who lived not so far from me, which annoys me to no end. But then again, he lived
Awkward.
on a road that we call in this town Junkie Street. So yeah,
Oh,
um,
hey,
yeah.
a future callback.
Literally, I go to a gym opposite where the road starts, and I can smell the weed the moment I leave the gym. Just no. That case, obviously, quite dark because of what he did. I did a Halls of Injustice video if anyone's interested on my main YouTube channel talking about it. He got a rental car and he was patrolling for a woman to pick up. Okay, this guy was in charge of, I think he worked for protection detail for the royal family. I think. Was that it?
Mhm.
I can't remember. Partygate is the more recent, though. The final straw, the straw that broke the camel's back. Cressida Dick has been accused of being too close to the government, which I find interesting for her to be so close to the Conservatives, when surely she would want to be close to Sadiq Khan, who would want to keep her in place because she kind of ticks a few boxes here for communities to appreciate. She be female, she be part of LGBT community. She kind of has that. She ticks all the right boxes, and also rubbish at her job. Um, she was.
Definitely taking the labor box right
But
there.
then again, she was given her damehood by Theresa May when Theresa May resigned. She had a resignation honours list, and Cressida was on it. The Partygate
Mhm.
scandal is that while lockdowns were ongoing, the Conservative Party had parties at number 10 Downing Street and other places. Boris has been pictured in some of these instances. Whether they're parties or not, though, you can't be sure, because you have one where some people are in a Zoom meeting and there's a bottle of champagne on the table. That
Mhm.
doesn't mean, though, that that's a party. It just means there's a bottle of champagne on the table. That's all it means. Nothing more than
Right.
that. But obviously, it's being used as an argument, and it gets a bit, huh. So, Cressida, obviously, because the report that Sue Gray did, leaned on it a bit and said, well, criminal investigation's now going on. You need to redact or hide most of this for the time being, conveniently. which then makes it look like she's in the back pocket of the Conservatives, gets leaned on even further. Now, it wasn't long ago Cressida Dick got given a 2-year extension to her commissioner role at the Metropolitan Police. To be clear here, that job is a phenomenally high-paid job, right? I mean, just to get some scope here. I will in a minute actually. Yesterday, today, sorry, or yesterday actually. I think it was announced yesterday. Cressida Dick resigned as the Met Commissioner. Now, here's the scope part. She retires to a £1 million country home she shares with a partner. She's set.
Oh,
Anyway,
how nice.
but that's not the part that that means nothing really. But where she's set is the monetary thing, because her payout, because her contract wasn't finished and she gets severance, is £575,000. That's paid by the taxpayer, by the way. Would you like to have a guess how much her pension is a year?
Oh, geez.
Just have a guess.
I would have I'm gonna say 6 figures.
You're right. Now just guess a number. What do you think?
200,000?
No. Oh, actually, you know what? You went over. 160,000 a year pension. She's 61, and that's what she gets every year now.
That's disgusting.
That's nuts. I mean, I know top job and all that. I get it.
And you're paying for it.
Yeah, right. So that's interesting. I actually think I can connect to that. When David Cameron was elected into high office, he took this from Gordon Brown, of all people. Gordon Brown actually did this first, I believe. He rejected, because he himself had a lot of money. David Cameron has a lot of money. Gordon Brown, he had earned his money. I think Nick Clegg might have done the same thing. I think George Osborne did it as well. They rejected the guaranteed pension that a Prime Minister or high office gets. Let's have a look. Prime Minister pension. A Prime Minister pension scheme. What is the pension? It is... that's not what I'm looking at. This India. Why are you giving me that? Just you absolute retard of a website. Okay, do Prime Ministers get pension? They do get a pension, and I know that David Cameron declined it because they also get other perks, financial ones. Like they get an allowance for staff and stuff, and access to Parliament for a while. And they rejected it straight up, and that's. Hang on. You got annual salary of MPs is 81,000. Pension, here we are. Is 1/40th or 1/50th of their final pensionable salary each year. Contributions of, again, you know what? Doesn't help me in the slightest. I know that they rejected their pensions, though. I know they did.
Your MP gets paid more than our senator, or paid less than our senators do.
Our equivalent to your senators, though, are House of Lords.
Yeah, but I should say our Congress people, just in general.
Yeah, but you've got a bigger budget. You can spend more. Also, currency exchange rate and all that.
Also, we apparently allowed them to set their own fucking.
Well, that's not set by our MPs. That's done by a watchdog, at least. So the interesting thing about it really is that she is set, and she can walk away and just disappear into obscurity wherever she wants to go and do whatever she likes, not be held accountable for her repeated cock-ups, because no matter what she did, and she's done a lot of stupid things on her watch, or a lot of stupid things have happened on her watch, she won't be made responsible for that. Because now she's been moved aside. And the funny thing here is, Sadiq Khan wants to pick someone who's really woke and inclusive, paraphrasing, sorry. You've got the Home Secretary who's like, no, this is my job, and I'm going to appoint somebody who'll do their bloody job. And I don't know what they're going to pick, because I don't think they can win with anyone they choose. And let's not forget here, with the damage that's been done now to the Metropolitan Police, the stripped back version of them, they don't have any powers. When they do have powers, they're corrupt as spook. What can you actually accomplish? Her legacy, and she could have been so much more. She really could have. Her legacy is poor decisions. And her cock-ups are monstrous. Either they cost lives, or they make the government look like Castro regime of secrecy and stupidity and control. Just come on, this is nonsensical. I don't know. It's interesting that since she's resigned, a lot of MPs have just outright said, even those that supported her originally, that were Labour, for example, are outright like no, because as far as so I'll quote. Let's see, Dave Blunkett. He was the former Labour Home Secretary when Tony Blair was in office.
Mhm.
He said, "Whatever sympathies I have had for Cressida Dick and her colleagues is rapidly seeping away. Unless the Met start to show the rationale and clear leadership expected of them, heads in the political arena must surely roll." And I couldn't agree with this blind bastard more. He actually is legit blind. He was memed so much when he was in office. It was hilarious. His eyes are trying to do an Undertaker thing, and it failed.
Oh no.
But I give him credit.
Well,
The man is principled.
well, with eyes like that, he might have a uh, successful stint on OnlyFans with that kind of face.
If he wasn't
Sorry,
set for
that's
life, I'd agree with you.
yeah.
No doubt he gets a
Anyway.
decent pension anyway. But yeah, Cressida Dick is on the way out. There is I believe her second in command was the one that people were considering, but I can't remember his name. Oh, hang on, let me go find it. Cressida Dick. Okay, so she took over from Bernard Hogan Howe, who also got. Yeah, no, he got
What a name.
he got a pension worth 180 grand a year. What's his?
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
Patriarchy coming in
Pay
strong.
gap. It's all about that pay
Yep.
gap. Oh, I
Yep.
can't remember what his name is. It might be Nesu or Nusa. I can't remember. Either way, no one wants him either. I don't know who they're going to get to take over because, seriously. Oh, God, yeah, Dave Blunkett, he did, didn't he? For a blind bastard, he didn't have to get laid a lot.
Atta boy.
I think he did in his own offices, didn't he? That's my boy.
My boy.
My boy. Yeah, no. So yeah, Cressida's on the way out. That's the long short of it all. And many are saying good riddance. Nobody, to be fair, when it comes to like what she represents within certain progressive circles, I'm somewhat impressed because she ticks all the boxes, yet at the same time, she doesn't have any support. She legit has no support, and I find that to be really strange.
Well, the problem is that if you overlap too many things in the progressive wheel of fortune, like you're going to end up getting checked into a box that has too much power, and therefore you then lose like you lose points from the other side. So like she's white, right?
Yeah.
If she were black, she would have done better.
Well, that's actually the thing. The person who somebody will succeed her is black. So I kind of expected him to be chosen. But nothing has been until she's gone. I guess you can't really say who's taken over. But I don't know.
We shall see.
Yeah, we shall see. I can't comment more than that. I guess. I could quickly. Who will take over from Cressida? We'll see if anything pops up. Who might replace her as the Met Police? Oh, Neil Basu. That's the name. He's the guy I think people on Twitter were saying, no. Let's see.
Why though?
So, let's see
There's
here.
nothing wrong with him.
So he is a senior police officer of Asian heritage. So he'd be the first minority ethnic commissioner. That has to be always pointed out. Mostly well thought of. Number 10, who believed his criticism in a Guardian interview of Boris Johnson's previous comments on race were harsh. He's a strong candidate to be the next head of the National Crime Agency. That's unlikely, though, because he's a Met police lifer, so he will never leave the Met. The others, I'm looking at them, they couldn't look like more, like, they're all white guys and one white woman. So, the guys all look like bobbies. That's what they just look like police officers. So simple and police officery. One of them looks very familiar, actually. It looks like that's one of my cousin's dads or something.
Awkward. Maybe it is.
No, it's not. It's wrong name. It's all good. I don't know. Well, in a week's time, we might have an indication who it will be, and I'll be honest, we could then probably look into more about who that person is. Yeah, so I guess we could move on. I do have a tweet. I thought I'd where is it? Oh god, I accidentally clicked on a Bret Hart trending hashtag. Here we are. MPs in the UK in the online safety bill have called for extreme porn to be banned. Okay? I'm going to read a tweet from someone called Trigger Hippie, who I have met at Skog's wedding. He, in fact, was the ring bearer. He took over from me because I said, no, I'm not doing it.
Sorry.
I just like
You
the
said
taste of
ring
fingers,
bearer,
okay?
and I just thought of.
I can't remember the name, alright? I'm really.
No, you were right. I just couldn't. I can't not think of Little Ring.
Honestly, I get you. I sat there in a blue hoodie. I was quite happy hiding.
I'm sorry about you.
Trigger Hippie, in reply to this MP's call for an extreme porn ban, has said, "This one I'm torn on. Freedom of expression by consenting adults, etc. I'm all for. But the harm done by the industry, not only to its actors, but also the viewers, especially minors." So, I tend to think, in the UK, we have some of the most extreme, laws. That means you cannot, produce these videos unless it's essentially two people laying in a bed not moving. You know?
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Almost
It was a long time ago
done. Absolutely corking performance there. That's
I forget. I think there was a comedian who did that fucking joke.
It's a Family Guy thing as well. It's in Family Guy.
Yeah,
and
that too.
Spiffing, but yeah, we have the laws that ban that stuff anyway.
Okay.
So as far as the actors thing, it's utterly irrelevant because we in the UK don't allow that to be made. If it's made in another country and it's consenting adults, I couldn't care less. And the idea of using an online safety bill then to push an agenda to ban certain types of porn mean you then have the opportunity then to ban all of it, depending on which government's in office or which policies are being pushed. I don't think that should be the case. Of course, you want to protect children, either from exposure or from being involved in. Of course, you want to protect. That's why in this country, if that stuff exists, it doesn't exist because it's been made in this country legally.
You know, fun story actually about literally this topic. I made a tweet. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and it's talking about the Earn It Act. Now, the Earn It Act has been going around certain circles.
I put a Tumblr post in our tab about that because it was sent to me as well.
Oh, did you?
It was sent to me.
Oh my god! I read the bill. I read the whole bill.
Yeah.
And the bill outright, it looks like it's all everything that it has to do is protecting kids. Yeah. That is what the wording of the bill says. However, in that bill, there's about 2 pages worth of other bills that it changes the words for. This is important because there have been cases that have been essentially adjudicated on based on the wordings of these bills.
Yeah.
And if one were to change the wording of these bills, you effectively can change how certain adjudications will go leaning forward, and you change how case law would read from now on.
Yeah.
And basically, when I read the bill, it looked like an excuse for government to basically strong-arm ISPs to provide data about users if they're suspected of X, Y, or Z. In this case, specifically a predatory child exploitation.
So that's a point made by Ahsoka, the idea of getting rid of privacy online. That's what the UK is trying to do with the online safety bill. It's the same thing, but worded differently. But obviously our online safety bill encompasses other things, so like revenge porn. But I don't agree with this idea of removing privacy online. It's controlling it's all about control. That's what it's always been about.
Absolutely.
And it's never going to stop being about that. The problem is you can't control it no matter how hard you try. ISPs is one thing. Hi, VPNs, NordVPN, do you want to sponsor us? We'd happily put your banner on our very small show.
I'd love that, actually.
Honestly, I'd do an ad for them if they on Spotify if they did that. I would actually. I'd do I'd just rip Dankulas though and just do it in my voice.
Here at Moisky Live, we don't mind shilling if the company's not an asshole.
Yeah. By all means, just give us your money.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll split it down the middle. We're all good.
Hell yeah!
But yeah, it's a really It was sent to me by I don't remember if you remember. She was on Moistonia a long time ago. Renita.
Mm-hmm.
She sent it to me during the week. Earn It Act is back in the Senate. It's a Tumblr post from the 1st of February, and I put it in our thing. It's quite long. there's a lot to it. And I then saw arguments on Twitter about it. And no, I'm not doing Tenga eggs. Although you could go F yourself if you want. Tenga eggs, give me money. But
That's a great line, by the way.
okay. Go fuck. Yeah.
I'm not doing it, but you can go fuck yourself if you want to.
Yeah. Yes.
Very good.
Yeah. That works actually. But I seen arguments about this and it back thing and its act, whatever it's called. People seem to be of this position of, and a lot of them are like of the position of, this is really good. Are you sure about that? Have you? I mean, you say you read it.
I mean, like,
but did you
don't get me wrong.
it?
Right. Yes. Like, you read the words, but you didn't understand what it does. Right. And it's interesting because, of course, right? Of course, people want to protect kids online.
Mm-hmm.
But I find it bizarre that they're doing this for, like, right now, given that we have record child exploitation coming through our southern border, but we're not passing any bills about that. No, we're passing internet safety. Weird, because the internet is the one of the only ways that the common folk have been organizing against our our overlords.
Convoys, blockades. Let's get to it. Proper job.
Well,
get the truckers.
You know what's interesting about that is that there is a way that some of these people get into the country, and usually it is by truck.
Honestly,
I wonder if it has anything to do with it.
I do wonder. It gets the noggin jogging a little. I find it quite fascinating. You mentioned that they're doing one thing but not the other. I don't understand why they can't do both.
I thought so too.
Because I'm sorry, I know you guys have a lot of committees to attend to and expenses to claim and virtues to signal, but or in the case of people like Pelosi, hypocrisy to just prove a point. Either that be the stonks thing that I heard about, potentially blocking, even though I think wasn't it believed that she made money off that,
she had the audacity to make a press conference and be like, why don't we extend it to the executive branch and the judicial? Shut the fuck up.
Or my favorite one from the week was we have a moral obligation to reduce emissions. Nancy Pelosi spent more than $500,000 on private jets. And she's the one to tout that we have a moral obligation to reduce emissions. I saw that. I read it. I read an article on it, in fact. That was $500,000 since 2020. I'm sorry, 2020 to present, we've been going through lockdowns. Where the fuck have you been getting a flight from and to? What are you doing?
Order your own flights.
I'm sorry. You claim to be leading by example with the virtuous mask bollocks, but at the same time, you were getting you're also touting about importance of climate change, and you've been flying private jets. I'm sorry. Existential threat, moral obligation.
Oh, I mean, you notice all these buzzwords, right?
I'm seeing them in the article I've just quoted it from. It's buzzword everywhere. It's buzzword central.
Honestly. Of course it is.
So
because that's all they have.
Do you remember where, interesting with Pelosi, she said that she wouldn't be seeking another term as speaker, I believe.
I did hear that at one point.
Well, at the age of 82, she is going to run for re-election. Thought she said she wasn't going to.
Oh, she wasn't. And then she decided against it. I wonder what happened.
I can't... Oh, I can't work. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. Why would she do that?
I don't know. It might have something to do with her money.
I mean, it could be that, but it could also be because the right man's in office and there's a chance she could take over the VP spot when he's voted, when he's taken out. And I don't mean with a crack pipe, and I don't mean shot. I mean taken to a care home.
25th.
When he gets there. Yep. I'm not going to go to him yet, though. Yeah, I just thought that was fascinating because hypocrisy, it's everywhere, really, isn't it?
Oh, and it doesn't stop, man.
Oh, hang on. I got another one here. In 2010, Nancy Pelosi's jet travel cost the Air Force $2,100,749.59.
Jesus.
100,000 of that was for in-flight expenses, including food and alcohol. What are you doing? Are you eating
I
Wagyu
mean,
beef and drinking caviar sauce?
literally, there are. I don't know if you know this, but you mentioned alcohol, and I don't know if you've noticed some of her press conferences, but she looks fucking wasted all
Fam,
the
fam,
time.
you know she has that ice cream like freezer thing?
Yeah,
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if she had one of those with just wine. And very
yeah. You think she
very
has just one?
just particular wine, very like she's that kind of person, I reckon. And that's not a shot at
Mm.
you, but at the same time, your expenses, fam. Fuck off. How much money? No, piss off. This is taking the piss out of the people that vote you in.
Oh, at this point, if the people who voted them in aren't like taking note of all the other shit that's going on, I don't know. Maybe they fucking deserve this crap.
Our MPs got shit, so much of it, for their expenses, and they still do. It's why we had an expenses scandal when someone claimed for a fucking duck house. Floats on the water, ducks go into it. Yeah, wow, I know. Amazing.
It's a chicken coop for water.
It basically is. And I mean, I thought it was hilarious, but at the same time, this is a waste of our money. I'm sorry, you
Mhm.
cannot be abusing this. And that is an abuse. You have people every year. I remember when Trump was in office and now Biden, every year you've had a shutdown or a potential shutdown. Well, you guys need to restrict those fucking expenses because that's an absolute piss take.
Unfortunately, it's their job.
It should
Like
not be.
this, I agree. Originally, when we created this system, the idea was that people would go into government and politics for service to their their constituents. We should have known better at this point, but we didn't.
Lesson learned. We have a watchdog for a
It's
reason.
just not what happens
We have a
anymore.
watchdog for a reason, and
Mhm.
Ahsoka, you asked why would MPs claim for a duck house? Because they can. They would some do it. Some did it to flip houses so they can make more money. That's what some people do. Because some people, the one thing that makes an MP in the UK very different is that they do claim for the living expenses of the house they're living in London if they are not in any constituency in London, because they have their home back in their constituency, and then they have a temporary home, like a house in London, and that's covered
Yeah.
for by, and that's fine. That I consider that fine because that's where you have to work. Yeah. You have office
Mhm.
expenses like employees. That's all part of the privy, I guess. No, not that. It's got something else. I don't know what it is. Just expenses. It's part of your job. But if you're starting
Right.
if you're claiming for your lunch and your lunch costs you £1,000, you better pay for that out of your own fucking pocket and go give Salt Bay a nice reach around. Because honestly, I'm not paying for that. And this bollocks with these expenses. I'm sorry. I mean, you got here. Look, an average cost of an international congressional delegation trip is almost $250,000. Fuck off.
Mhm.
How about no?
Oh, it's insane what they try to get away with, dude.
I'm sorry, but
Absolutely.
so many issues with your those shutdowns. I'm seeing piss takes right in front of me. I'm sorry, you can't tell me what your expenses are more important than the rest of the country. Oh, but we need to look good. How about you look good by reducing that and putting some more accountability on the expenses?
That's the thing, though. They don't actually give a shit.
Obviously not.
They don't actually care about us. There, there's a saying that has to basically about lawyers and politicians, but basically the idea is that politicians don't care about people. They think they're better than you. They think they know better than you, and they are going to try and do their darndest to fuck you over. And that's just the truth. Because there are so few good politicians that essentially they don't exist.
Mm. I find the expenses aspect of this. So we both have jobs.
Yes, we do.
I'm self-employed. I pay myself. My expenses I have to keep a record of, because some of which are tax deductible, and that's a reasonable thing. Some are not, so I don't keep track of them because I have to make that judgment. So when it
Mhm.
comes to like doing up my cabin, my office, anything that goes in the office, like the actual office room, is tax deductible
Mhm.
because it's part of the office. Any other room in that cabin is not, because that's mine. That's my living. That's living space. Yeah, I don't claim a
Mhm.
guitar as a tax thing. My 3D printer, I did claim that because I used it for Etsy. That made sense. I
Mhm.
did actually make the money back from that as well. I don't claim the whiskies I buy. I don't claim the Legos I acquired or Magic the Gathering cards. You know, I claim video
Right.
games if I stream them. Right. I
Correct.
claim
That's the
DLCs.
correct way to do that.
Any cleaning supplies for work, all the receipts are
Mhm.
kept. Anything related to my computer, upgrades, acquired, mouse, keyboard, mouse pad, the wrist support pads, I've got the gel ones, so I don't keep ruining my wrists. I use them every day. I use my tablet every day. That's part of my phone
Right.
plan.
They
I
are
use it for
part of
work.
your job.
Exactly. Food is not one of those things. Travel is also not one of those things because all my work is either on the computer or I can walk to it. If I have to, if I travel somewhere, I'm going there recreationally, like to a gig or just to go out for a day. You know, I don't
Mhm.
expect myself to pay for that. I expect me to be able to pay for it from my own money, and not from expenses that I should then claim, but then fraudulently be claiming.
Mhm.
I'm not. I can't do that because I like my job and I don't want to. I don't want to fuck it up.
You also have something that a lot of these people don't, and it's honor,
Principles, apparently.
principle, ethics, morals, whatever.
Maybe it's just because
You have that.
I don't have exposure to that level of money. You know,
Maybe. I mean, they do say that money is the root of all evil.
maybe that's why poor people spend it so quickly.
Yes.
I don't mean that to be a
Well,
dig, by
that's
the way. I'm not exactly rich or anything. I have a little bit of money in the bank, and that's it.
yeah.
I
Well,
still dread the day I ever get audited because I swear I'm going to lose all that money in a click.
they'll never want to audit me because then they'll basically realize that I should have been getting more tax breaks than I've been claiming.
I don't even know what that means
That's
because in this country we just I do lump sums for what I earn. And I do a lump sum for my expenses because I can't be asked to go through every single one. I just add them up and keep all the receipts.
yeah. I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about it later.
All right.
But um, okay. So we've got a couple other topics I
Sorry for
want to
the
quickly touch.
distraction, everyone.
Yeah,
Just wanted
it's
to
fine.
rant, all right? I just wanted to rant, all right?
Um, Actually, let's quickly touch on this inflation stuff because I want to know how Britain is faring right now.
Oh, right,
So the
yeah.
U.S. has reached a 40-year high of inflation of 7.5%. Um, and the sorry, my brain got distracted. Um,
Oh, I heard. I could hear,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um, so we're at a 40-year high of inflation, and I've been to the grocery store, and I have seen the prices go up. I have felt it in my wallet,
Yeah.
uh, and it is actually bad.
Yeah, it is.
And I live also. I think gas is also like up like 40% from last year or something like that.
Yep.
So I mean, I'm fucking what's the word? Hemorrhaging money. Just
Yeah,
doing my day to day
because
same shit that I've been doing.
your salary's not gone up to match it. That's it.
Correct.
So
Now you
the UK has had a similar issue. Energy bills are about to go up by up to 50%. Like electric, gas are about to go up by an exponential amount of money. Fuel prices are already quite high. The government is apparently subsidizing something, but in reality, they're not. So inflation is supposed to be going up by 7.5%. But the cost of living, and with the cost of living going up as well, salaries aren't matching this. And this was actually mentioned Well, not as prominently as it should have been in PMQs, which I will be starting again soon, I promise. It was
Mhm.
mentioned in PMQs because Boris is of the opinion, oh, we're throwing more money at these things, so, great. But in reality, cost of living is going up. I've noticed it with my direct debits for my phone, with other bills, my gym membership. They're all going up by about 5%. Which, I mean, my phone bill's like £50. 5% isn't a huge increase because I have a lot of like extra data on my phone, and I have a watch on
Yeah.
there as well. It's just it's still a huge increase though. By comparison to previous years that have always matched inflation. This one is, yeah, it's kind of in that ballpark, but it's still a big jump. Yeah. Um, so we are noticing it. Electric, we're on a meter here, so we pay for a certain amount. We pay like £20 or £30 a week or something. Well, now we know that it'll have to be £60, 45, sorry, a week. But where's that extra £15 coming from? The government is adamant that they're throwing more money into things, but they're not throwing it into the thing of, hey, how about instead you just talk to those energy companies that have shareholders and be like, hey, shareholders, if you want the company to flatline, keep doing what you're doing, because no one's going to be able to pay for your shit. Because that's how things
Yeah.
are going right now. And it's always been that way. And that's a big damning statement of conservatives is always the same thing. You're so busy looking after your friends, you're not looking after the people. And this is one of those times where it looks like that. And it's a bit of a problem here because we rely on these energy companies. And people pointed out, like during lockdown, um, people lost, was it 3 point something billion in this country, individuals overall. Um, but conveniently, big companies made more, just more than what those people had lost in pounds. I
Mhm.
can't imagine why, because a lot of them are online or were able to outsource the work to places that are cheaper. Energy companies, that doesn't quite work that way. And so I'm not entirely sure how the government are going to keep throwing billions of pounds at these energy companies to keep the price down, when in reality, they're still going to hike the price up anyway. And if you're not going to have the cost of the wage go up to match it, like, so you can brag. So in our country, the tax bar is 12,750. You can earn that before you pay tax. That sounds fantastic, doesn't it? It actually isn't too bad
Yeah.
in certain areas. I mean, I could live on £1,000 a month easily. Handily, I could live on half of that, to be honest. But that's because I
I could
don't
live
own a.
on it. I wouldn't be happy.
No, I mean, I'd be happier. I mean, I think I make about that a year, as a baseline, to be honest. So I'm not too fussed. I'm never bothered.
Mm.
I don't have. I mean, I don't. The house is owned, so that's where the advantage is, I guess.
Mm.
But if you include
Yeah, I
rent,
don't I
yeah,
don't
I'm
have
living.
that.
If we had the rent, then yes, things are a bit of a problem. But the point is, if people, the baseline is 12,750, right? Tax is also going up, with national insurance is going up. So after that, your tax is going to be higher anyway. Your cost of
Mhm.
living's now gone up as well, which means that 12,750 doesn't go as far. You're being taxed more, and your freedom is being restricted more. Who's actually paying for this hike? Or how hard are people pinching their pockets now to try and make what they've got work, and struggling to get by because this increase has happened in all sectors to such a degree that people now can't actually put money into the economy, which is why the government is so dead set on, at the end of this month, by the way, coronavirus is completely, we don't do that anymore. No more law on it. It's all gone.
Oh,
But
that's good.
but that means shit if people still can't afford to get by. You're putting more pressure on them, more pressure on food banks, more pressure on, resources generally. If people can't spend and the economy doesn't grow, what are you going to
Mhm.
do? Oh, that's right. Tax them more! Because that's what works, right?
I have heard that.
It's just it's what it looks like the Conservatives are trying to do. They keep saying that this will cause the economy to grow in this country. Couldn't disagree with you more. There's no proof that will work. And if what you're doing
Yep.
is increasing national insurance, you're increasing tax after the 12,750, while the cost of living is also going up, that 12,750 doesn't go as far as it used to go, which means that they are then paying more tax anyway, and they're struggling even more regardless because you've not accounted for that. The tax bar would have to go up to match it. It
Mhm.
would have to match. It would have to match inflation, but it won't because they think that that means loads of money. I'm sorry, they're not making 80 grand a year here. They're not getting by on that. All right, they're
Mhm.
getting by on a fraction of it, and that fraction doesn't go anywhere near as far as it used to. That's what I think, anyway. And inflation, the government isn't doing anything to tackle inflation. They can claim they are, but they're not. They're doing fuck all. They're throwing money at the companies to try and beg them not to increase the bills. So I'm sorry, but that's not going to solve problems. How about you tell them to stop doing it and stop fleecing people because the shareholders are taking advantage of them? Simple as that.
True.
Greedy, but it's a free, it's a free economy. Go nuts! I can't wait to watch this one collapse a little bit. It'll be
Yeah,
amusing.
I don't
I've
want
got
to see it.
candles. We're fine. They'll last. The Yankee.
Oh,
What about
good.
in your country?
Our country, I mean, gas prices is probably something that people are seeing the most of, and food prices. That's,
Yeah,
I think, the thing that hurts the regular person the most.
yeah. The food bill is
You
definitely an
have
issue here as well.
right, like whereas I probably bought food for 2 weeks, and it would cost me, yeah, maybe $100. Now, again, this is for me and my fiance, right? Um, So we don't eat that much. But
His husband Dave
for a family,
just loves eating trups.
yes, of course. Whatever the fuck you said.
Yep.
Um but the the actual cost of a for a family, right? Let's say you have 2 kids. I mean, this is exponential now. You're talking like maybe they were spending 250 for 2 weeks. Now they're probably spending 400, close to it, 375 probably. Just because individual items have gone up in price outside of this 7.5. This 7.5 is basically just the consumer index. It's an average of all of the different things. Um versus like, like the individual cost of chicken or the individual cost of beef, etc., right? There are massive increases in prices, and
Yeah.
it is going to hurt regular people, and you see that now in polling. I think Biden finally dropped into an aggregate polling
$40.
of under 40, so he's in
Yeah.
the 30s
I
now,
saw that.
which is worse than Trump, Obama, or Bush
They're never
at
going to
the same
acknowledge that,
time.
though. They're never going to acknowledge that. They're going to find another poll to say that Trump was lower.
Well, I mean, that's fine, but nothing in the aggregate will ever agree with them. I mean, it's not like they don't ever pretend
Or
to
they
not
just won't
exist in the
acknowledge
real
it.
world anyway. Right. It's not like it's not unique that they don't exist in the real world. For other situations, so maybe they'll do the same thing
Don't forget,
here. But
midterms are coming, and this is going to hurt him.
well, they need to accept it because of that purpose. Exactly, though. Like they need to acknowledge this problem and they need to find a way to fix it. That's why
Quickly.
Biden has been going on these these tours to talk about like pharmaceutical prices for some fucking reason.
I mean, I'd rather he just sat there and talked without, falling asleep about crack pipes, but that's just me.
True. But like he's on like this national tour. He went to a bunch of different places to talk about how he could like cap insulin
At his
for
age, is he
for the
safe to
US at
travel?
35. Um but like these pharmaceutical companies, like, yeah, you could have done this at any point. Stop taking their money and doing what they asked you to do. And yeah, you could do this whenever the fuck you want. Like, just have some integrity as a goddamn person. But no, that's not what our politicians do. Um, that's not what any politician does. So I mean, yeah, he's going on this fucking trip to try and get. Also, he's trying to lump it together with like Build Back Better for some reason. And he made this tweet that I'm gonna pull it up right now because I remember I retweeted it and I said it sounds like a stick up. Um, Let me see. It is. Here's the deal. We can lower the cost of prescription drugs, childcare, healthcare, early education, elder care, and so much more. And we can do it without raising taxes on anyone earning less than $400,000 a year.
Sounds like
We've just
BS.
got to pass my Build Back Better agenda. And I'm like, why does this sound like a holdup?
Why the alliteration? Build back better. Even people who
He should
have
have said
full
Build Back Better, Bill.
honestly, you should say broke back better, Bill. I'm sorry, but considering we're fully functioning compass mentis. What's that term?
Cognitive.
Compass mentis, whatever it was.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
right. We have
Capable mentally.
yeah, right. We're younger a little bit. We are capable of saying everything but that. But he's a little older. I would like to hear him say "build back better." I'd like to hear him say it 5 times. I want to see if he can do it without taking a breath and without blinking either. Because when he blinks, he starts to kind of fall asleep.
He does do that, yeah. You see when he his eyes start to flutter and everything just starts going black.
His face looks like it's been held back, like it's been held in place with clothes pegs.
Yes, it does.
Skin stretch.
But the fact that he's trying to even campaign on this, people don't even support him. You'll see this because some Democrats in some places are actively moving away from him. He
It's
just
because they got what they
reiterated, I
wanted
think.
when he took it in office. Because they got rid of Trump. That's the only reason they wanted him. He was the ace in the hole.
I guess, but there's more going on than just Trump, and whether or not the people who elected them realize that, I don't think that all of the the senators that were the progressive candidates really accept that. But then again, can you tell me the last time, maybe since New Year's, that you've heard anything about AOC or the Squad or
I've heard
Ilhan
nothing. I've
Omar?
heard nothing.
Because they're not the media darling right now. They don't want to hear from them. They're not useful to the machine.
Shocker.
And they've always said the stupid shit, so now they're telling them shut the fuck up.
Just nuts.
That's what they're doing.
Just to address in the chat, Alison there. We have a full freezer full of meat we hunted. It's just insane because a couple of years ago, the same grocery haul would have been maybe $75 with meat. We do a monthly food shop because we have a big freezer. It costs. There are three young girls, 3 adults, dogs, cat, including pet food and everything, about £350 to £400, which is a lot. But there's the dogs. That's not too expensive, to be fair. The dogs now eat meat as well, so that has driven the price up. But I started that on purpose because I wanted to eat variety and also eat something a bit more. Yeah. All these extra. Yeah, I'd rather they did. I know.
Yeah.
But the quality of the food is also much better for these kids compared to what I had as a kid. Because I remember that monthly food shop used to be about 100 to 150. There were 4 kids, 2 adults, and that food was shocking. The quality were tins from World War II. With the key on the side kind of crap, and the food was horrific. So there is that quality of food. But now my concern is that if the food prices are going up as well, because I expect them to do so, I'm not concerned about me paying more myself, but I know that it's going to hit my sisters, which means then I will then I don't mind doing it because it's for the family. But if the food price goes up, monthly shop goes up by £50 to £100, they're going to freak out. I'm going to have to throw that money at them and be like, yo, I'll cover this. Don't worry, I've got this. But that's still that's a huge chunk of my money gone to cover that.
Right. And you shouldn't have to do that, because the fact that we are having this inflation problem, at least in America, it's not something that we didn't see fucking coming.
Agreed. We did. To be fair, there were warning signs here as well.
Yeah, and we told everybody. I remember we had this discussion on this channel, a year ago, talking about how dumping stimulus money for COVID relief is just going to lead to inflation.
So that's another thing. In our country, our government wrote off several £billion worth of COVID money that was fraudulently claimed. Now,
Hmm.
my view is, if you have fraud, I got some of those self-employment income support scheme payments.
Hmm.
Okay, when I did my tax return last year, I automatically added that to it because it was a taxable income, right? And I paid my tax on that. I
Hmm.
did not cock this up because that wasn't based on my taxes. That was based on an assumption of what I would be earning. The next year, so in 20, well, the tax year we're currently on, I was
Hmm.
eligible twice to claim for two more, and they were based on how much I've made in the last tax year. That was about how much I
Okay.
lost essentially. Well, I didn't claim those because I made more.
Hmm.
I could have, and I would have gotten about, let's see, 1,800 plus about 700. Yeah, I would have gotten 2.5 grand. But I didn't want
Nice.
it. I didn't need it, and I didn't want it because that would
Right.
have been fraud. We don't do fraud here.
We don't do
But
fraud
if
here.
people have defrauded the government, if you've done that, you should pay
Mhm.
it back. And I know
Yeah.
it's going to be uncomfortable for you, but you fuckers claimed it. There's an ISIL
And
cube if you want. Go to prison. I don't care. You're paying it back.
just, I mean, here's the thing though, right? I understand if like you had lost your job due to COVID. I know plants shut down. I know things were bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I
I
know
lost work.
things are still bad. I understand that because there are some places that are still
Yeah.
because of inflation, it's hard now to afford more employees.
Yep.
Um like I get that.
Yep.
Um that being said, um if you aren't able to pay this, then you at the very least need to assert that. Think that I don't think you'll end up bankrupt or anything like that.
But the other issue I
Um,
have is our economy is a lot
I don't
smaller
think
than yours. But
I don't think they're coming knocking for you yet.
well, no, I wouldn't have thought so. If they'd written it off in our country, it doesn't really matter anyway. But if it's,
Mhm.
I believe it was over £4 billion. Now, £4 billion in this country is a lot. Okay, it's a chunk, and that 4 billion could go towards reducing energy bills for people. It could have actually been put to use. Instead,
Yeah.
the government's probably got to borrow it in a form of guilt from Chinese government or something to be able to pay the energy companies to not hike inflation. Of course, there's another issue obviously with energy bills in Europe because of where some of their energy comes from. Cough, cough, Russia, cough, cough. But that's Europe. That's their problem. Well,
Oh,
it'll be everyone's problem in about a week's time, I think.
I that is what I hear.
So let's do,
Um,
let's do that.
wi- yeah, let's quickly talk about that. So
Yeah.
Russia is knocking at the door, and apparently the U.S. has received intel that that they should expect a Russian invasion next week.
Whoop,
Even the UK government has come out and said for their citizens to leave.
woot, woot. Ukraine's going down, everyone.
Well, I mean, do you think so?
Don't know. I don't have
Well,
access to that intelligence.
rather, do you think? Well, I guess fair, right? I don't know what they learned or what they
Mm,
said to each other, but
yeah.
do you think that with all of the things that we have sent over there, all of the different negotiations that all the countries have been having over the last couple weeks, do you think it's going to amount to anything?
No. I don't, because we had one of their ministers was here, or we met up with one of their ministers, and they essentially laughed in our face. That says everything about what they think about us, the UK. That is, um, whatever it is they're doing, it looks
Mhm.
sus. If they do start an invasion of the Ukraine, that's war. I'm sorry, but that's what it
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
And there's only one thing that can come of that. I'm afraid. There are rules in place for that, and if that's the path you want to choose, then expect this to become something very, very messy, um,
Hmm.
and very quickly. People
Oh,
of
absolutely.
Ukraine will defend themselves as best they can, but they can't hold Russia back. And That's not to say any of us
No,
can, but options are limited,
not
I'm
without
afraid.
incurring massive fees.
Yeah, and that's this is the thing of it's a tricky. I don't know how to explain. It's a dangerous area to walk, and I'm not entirely sure what we can do to
Yes,
help. But at the same
I
time, I
don't know
really
if
wish we
we
could.
have. Yeah, well, I don't know if we really have much of an option right now, because I mean we're basically staring down, the barrel, right?
Yeah,
And it's pretty much based on the article that I sent you. And when I got into the car, every news station, CNN, MSNBC, and Fox, were all talking about it.
yeah.
Um,
Problem.
everyone is now getting antsy.
The problem now is if we ignore it and they take
Mhm.
Ukraine, what's to stop them taking Poland next? What's to stop them taking
I don't know.
Romania? What's to stop them taking Hungary? What's to stop them moving over to Germany? So once they take one country, there's nothing saying they can't stop, and they won't stop.
Hmm.
There's nothing saying that. Russia's not going to be like, oh, you know what? We've got what we wanted. You guys go have your fun. Don't mind us while we re-educate these people into the ways of Mother Russia. No,
Yeah,
it's
we'll be
too.
over here.
Yeah, we'll just be over here doing something we shouldn't have done, which breaks all major international laws. Because of an ironclad agreement that they themselves couldn't agree on, but everyone else did on their behalf because apparently you're their bosses. Um, it's just no, that's not gonna. There actually that's the point John mentioned in the chat there that China. I saw Putin had met up with China during the week, and that had me concerned
Yeah,
as
did
well.
they?
Yeah, that had me a little
Mm.
concerned.
I wonder if it has anything to do with the fact that if Russia does attack next week, it'll be in the middle of the Olympics, and right now Beijing is enjoying all of this attention on them, and so I wonder if they were talking about what would happen if Russia took over the news and drew away attention from the glorious Chinese Communist Party.
Honestly, I don't know.
It's a thought. I don't know if it has any bearing on what actually transpired, but
What
it's
does
just a thought that went through my mind.
what does Biden think about this?
Um, so when he had met with Germany last week, he said that if Russia invades Ukraine, that America is going to shut down the Nord Stream 2 pipeline.
What's that?
That's the pipeline that runs under I think it's the Bering Strait. I think. Maybe I'm crazy. It's underneath a body of water
Hmm.
that leads to Germany from Russia.
Oh,
And I thought this was a little odd, because that means that America basically said, hey, if Russia invades Ukraine, Germany, you're going to pay for it, is what it sounded like when I heard those words. Uh, and I'm not sure how that's gonna play out.
hmm. Someone in the
Also,
chat
wh-
has mentioned
yeah.
that they trained Ukrainian
Mhm.
troops, and the younger generation will speak Russian because Ukrainian is embarrassing. I mean, I guess that saves them a hassle, then, doesn't it? Yeah. Thank you for pointing that out,
I
Casey. I do
guess.
appreciate that. Um, I'd be very surprised if anything does actually happen, but
Mm,
um, only because I thought this might be a posturing thing at best, just to see
mm.
if anyone would blink. You know?
Well, I think people still will. I don't think it's over yet. Even if they do invade, like let's just say they start sending tanks into the area around Odessa, like what it means for the rest of the country, I don't actually know if it has any immediate effect.
Hmm.
Um, but we will see. We will certainly see
Can we not have a
because
war?
we are.
I'd like not to have a world war in my lifetime. Or over the
Yeah.
Ukraine. Can we not?
Would you rather it over something else?
No, I'd rather it just happen after I died. let,
Fair.
let me die of natural causes in about 200-300 years' time, then you can have a go.
Mm. Yeah, very good.
So,
So
crack
your priorities
pipes.
are in check. Yeah.
Crack
Yeah, crack
pipes.
pipe.
Tell me about the.
Okay.
What is a crack pipe, Trups?
I don't know. I mean, I do, but like, I can't explain it.
No.
It's a glass
You've never,
fucking tube. I don't
you've never,
fucking know.
no, you've never seen one in your life, have you?
Actually, no.
You're
Well,
you're a
I
good,
have
sweet,
seen
innocent
one.
Christian boy.
I've seen one shattered on the ground in the New York subway. Does that count?
That just sounds like New York and San Francisco.
Yeah.
so
I mean, I guess. Oh, there are needles on the ground over there too. So.
yeah. So why were crack pipes all over Twitter?
Well, you see, Biden has come up with an initiative
Oh,
to how do I describe this? Reduce harm is the words that he used by providing safe smoking kits to addict. That was the official comment. What that means for everybody involved is that on taxpayer dollars, Biden will be providing, as he said, safe smoking kits, which includes syringes, by the way, um, to addicts as a way to help reduce the harm caused by basically using dirty utensils, essentially. Now, unfortunately, what this also entails is a whole lot of fucking. Our government will be giving drug paraphernalia to the fucking people.
so I'd heard this was
Mm.
a lie. Is it a lie?
No, it's not a lie, and the lie that they claim exists. What it actually was is that all of the news media they went out and they said Biden is giving crack pipes away on your tax dollars, which is objectively true. Um, and they were like, no, he's not. What he's doing is he's giving syringes and safe smoking kits, which, let me get this nice little paragraph. This is from the New York Times. The grant guidelines do not specify what the smoking kits should include. According to the Harm Reduction International, a London based non governmental organization, such kits can contain rubber mouthpieces, brass screens, lip balm, disinfectant wipes, and glass stems, the quote, crack pipes in question. The contents can vary based on the organization distributing the kit, as well as state and local laws on the distribution of drug paraphernalia.
Huh.
Um,
I wonder what
yes.
that's called.
Uh, It's actually they used the perfect phrasing right there, I think.
Are you
And I
sure?
want to yes, and I want to point out that the headline and the subheadline for this is explaining the claim that the Biden administration is funding quote crack pipes. Conservatives have honed in on a specific provision in an overdose prevention grant program to make a misleading claim about crack pipes. No, no, New York Times, by your own admission, uh, they are in fact doing just that.
Yay.
Yay!
Progressive. Oh, I love it. It's so stupid. But
Yes, it is, and what's even worse is that Snopes actually rated the fact check as mostly false, which it's not. It's objectively true.
is it?
I mean, it is by their own admission. Snopes even like can't lie good enough because even they in their own fact check have to admit down at the bottom like, oh yeah, by the way, like technically this is true.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you'd think this would be like a scandal.
it seems to be going under the radar. A lot in this country are saying, not in this country. Where is this again? They're saying it's the new report here is that it's fake. That's it.
Really? Just straight up fake?
It's getting no coverage because of that. I'm looking at my news here. You got Russian invasion could begin any day. PM sent lockdown party questionnaire by police. Swedish hitman guilty of doorstep murder. Let's go with politics here. No. How about international? Let's go with that. Let's go with world. Canada court orders end to truck bridge blockade. Macron refused to take Russian COVID test. This is tough. Oh, Russian figure skater failed the drug test. Shocker, I know. No, nothing here mentioning it, actually. No.
Crazy.
Nope.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's kind of a local story, I guess. Maybe people in the UK don't quite care about what the US spends its tax dollars on, but
we do care. It's just we have our own issues with our own MPs, I guess.
Clearly, I guess the question then becomes like, well, what do the people need to do, Meg? Do you think? What do we need to do, besides call up Hunter Biden and tell him to calm down? His stiffy is showing.
I think we all need to. I think we all need to get some chocolate cake.
Oh, and how will that help?
I don't know if it'll help anyone else, but it'll certainly make me feel good.
Ah, well, all right. Glad you're thinking very selfish of you.
Yep.
Very good.
I'm thinking like a politician.
Yes.
I'll claim it on expenses. It will cost me $10,000.
One of the greatest comments, by the way, in regards to this crack pipe article was oh god, hold on. I have that tweet too. I have these tweets because I spend a lot of time on Twitter.
Wow.
Follow me at twitter.com/TrupsLP.
Shameless promotion. I approve.
Always. And it was a picture of fucking Jim from The Office. It says, now that the government is handing out free crack pipes, we can officially declare drugs the winner of the war on drugs.
Yes. Congratulations.
Yes, and it is.
Congratulations to drugs.
Yes, drugs is the winner. What started several decades ago has now come out where drugs win. Drugs have won, everyone. So, that's where we're at. Let them never tell you that what they're doing is ever thinking about the kids or doing what's in the best interest of the people. Because really, if you wanted to help addicts, and I mean this on a more serious note, when you provide them with rehabilitation, I understand that the safe smoking kit is a way to help prevent disease, but the rehab centers and the therapies and the actual assistance, the actual guidance to help them get out of their addiction, it needs to come with a solution to get them away from drugs. This is what the therapy has to do with it. You talk to the individual, you find out what it is that led them to this path, you see if it's a coping mechanism, you try to give them alternatives while weaning them off this drug.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's how you handle things, and that's how you help treat an epidemic. Opioids is a major problem in this country still. And I don't know if it is in your country.
It's not as big. I mean, there is problems, but not on that level of yours.
Right. Now, we have the ways to fix that. We just need to do it. Of course, it's up to your government to decide what they care about, while also reminding you of all the other bullshit that I mentioned during this stream. That's still happening too. In case you're wondering how well this presidency is going.
Well, the midterm will confirm it's absolutely going swimmingly.
Oh, absolutely. It is going super swimmingly.
Yep.
Are we done with opposite day now?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
God, it sucks.
It does, but it's been going for 2 years and he's doing fantastic still.
I don't want to wish harm upon this man, but I wish him a speedy retirement.
Honestly, yeah.
I want him to retire. I want him to go home. It's not helpful to anybody, the situation that is currently happening.
It's
Go
not.
home, old man, you're drunk.
Yeah, he does need a rest. But give it time. I'm sure he'll get the rest he needs. I have
Oh, I
faith
hope
in him.
so.
I have faith in him.
Oh, that's a lot coming from you.
It's
All right.
half-assed, though, to be honest.
I I know, but as it is now 6 o'clock, I will ask you: do you have anything to shill this evening?
No, but this show will be up on Spotify tomorrow. Um,
Mhm.
so by all means, do give us a follow on Spotify. I'm going to quickly uncheck Spotify now. I'll tell you how we're doing. I went to the wrong link. Here it is. Catalog for Spotify listeners. We've got 46 listens over the week. We have 202 followers. Thank you to the 2 new followers. Keep following us there because I am looking to try and make things better. I promise. It's just taking time because obstacles keep cropping up and I keep forgetting.
Yes, we will do our best. If you stay with us, we'll be there for you. Play the Friends theme song. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Damn it, we need an editor. All right, that's fine.
No, that's just the clapping, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, you do it better. I don't have the I'm too sleepy. All right.
Fair enough. Well, let's let the boomer go to sleep.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us. And let's see, what
Smash
week is
like.
it? The 18th next week. Are you good 18th next week? I
Yeah,
think
I'm all
you.
good. I'm always good.
Yep, I think we are all set. So we will see you back here next week, 4:45 p.m. Eastern time, or if you're a Brit or just believe in GMT, that's 9:45 p.m. GMT.
Wait,
And we
and
will see you back here at this channel.
yep.
What was that? What was that you said?
Oh no, we've got daylight savings in March. It's fine.
Okay, don't worry about that until later. Thank you all for joining us, and say goodnight, Meg.
Good night.